In this video, we're going to be looking at the Hydroshift 2 LCD AIO from Lian Li, how it's going to perform on my Ryzen 9950X, install the TL wireless fans on there, and the main question everyone have, is it really worth it? So we got the fanless version of the Hydroshift 2 LCD, and trust me when I say this guys, you need to pay attention to your manual. The whole reason I'm saying this, because you know what? AM5 is pretty simple. All the screws are there. You're gonna use regular screwdrivers and everything. But for Intel, letter C, they have their own screwdriver. So you're gonna need that screwdriver to install on Intel CPUs. So be careful with that. Make sure you read your manual. In the box, we got the AMD socket, accessories, and our Intel socket. And we got the screwdriver right in the middle. And looking at this pump housing, the pump looks big. Maybe it's because of the screen. But here's the thing. Pump runs at 2500 RPM max, and this rotary dial is so good. Looking at this accessory box, you guys gonna get all the brackets and all the screws you're gonna need to install this AIO. We'll start with the fan screws and start installing our TL wireless fans on there. By placing one of the TL fans, we'll see how it's gonna look. It's gonna look amazing. So let's start removing those rubber pads and install it with the screws we got there. Now make sure all your screws are nice and tight. And then we'll go ahead, give it a tug, and install our rubber pads back on there to hide those screws. We'll start by removing our old AIO, which was the Lian Li GA Lite 2 360 AIO. Now this right here is a budget AIO, but it is a beast in performance. I had this on my Ryzen 9950X and it was amazing. The only thing it was lacking, the LCD and the RGB. And do not forget to clean your old thermal paste off. No matter how good it looks, please go ahead and clean it off. Put some new thermal paste. I'm using AM6. And this is where I messed up, because if you look clearly, those notches are facing towards the heatsink and the pump is not gonna slide on there. Oh my god, now I'll go ahead and reinstall these brackets and make sure these notches are facing the right way, because that pump gonna slide right into those notches. Do your spreading method for the thermal paste. Put a tiny blob right in the middle. You'll be perfectly fine when you do the sliding method. Grab it, hold it down, and put one thumb screw at a time. And I personally recommend you guys go in a cross pattern and tighten them down by hand first, and then use your screwdriver to finally tighten all of them down. But make sure it's in a cross pattern. Now after installing this AIO, this is what it's gonna look like in your build. No more hanging tubes everywhere. Nice, neat, clean AIO with the LCD screen right in the middle. And my Ryzen 9950X is sitting perfectly at idle 45 to 47, which is good for Zen 5 Ryzen 9950X and 9950X 3D. So let's go on the software side and let me show you guys. Let's talk about the software. Now, in order to control the new Hydroshift 2 LCD AIO, you need to download the new version of LConnect 3 software. You cannot use the older version of LConnect, you need the new LConnect 3. When you get the new LConnect 3, you can see it's going to control your SL wireless fans, TL wireless fans, Hydroshift 2, GA2, LCD, and the TL non-wireless. The main reason to run LConnect 3 on your system to control Hydroshift 2 LCD 360 AIO is to get the proper readings. As if you run it offline, you will not get the proper temperature reading of your CPU, as you will only get the reading for the coolant that's running in your radiator. Which to me kind of defeats the purpose of having an LCD screen on your AIO. Going into devices, making sure all of our devices are connected, as we got 10 fans in my build right here and a Hydroshift 2. And then we gotta make sure we check for firmware update. Now going into fan and pump profile, as you can see I have my fans laid out the way I want it. I had them set up already. Now going into the Hydroshift 2, you have two choices, fixed or PWM. I run mine at fixed because that's the way I like it. And if you want to label the fans the way I had it, go into sync setup and you can label them that way. Going into the L wireless utility, this is where you're going to control all of your fans, LCD fans, TL wireless, SL fans. Now jumping into the Hydroshift 2, I'll have side by side so you guys can see in real time. As you can see, we have a lot of options when it comes down to controlling that LCD screen on the AIO. Now the main thing is, you can go through different performance variants, you can go through different performance metrics like CPU, GPU and other stuff. But the main thing, you cannot control it with that rotary dial that's on it if you're using L-Connect 3 software. Yes, it's a bummer. You can only use it if you're using it offline, but then it's not giving you a proper reading of the CPU temp. It's only giving you a reading for your coolant temp that's in your radiator. Beside all that, I think you guys got the idea. Now let's move on to some benchmarking. Alright guys, so for our first benchmark, we got Cinebench R23. As you can see, the highest it's gonna hit 88 Celsius. And yes, I'm not gonna let you guys sit here for 10 minutes and see the whole thing, because that would be boring, right? We don't want the video to get boring. So yeah, so overall we hit 88 on the highest, and as you can see, when the test is done, and even I'm gonna show the graph right here, real quick, all of my cores are working perfectly fine under load. There's no weird spikes and anything like that happening, so I'm fine with that. And now as the test is done, you can see how fast it comes down. Now after being 100% load on that CPU, the AIO is going to work its way and make sure it settles around 4950, which is the idle temp for 9950X and 9950X 3D. You can get it lower, yes, you're going to have to wait a little longer, but right after underload, it's going to bring it down to where it's supposed to be. So this AIO is working perfectly fine. Now we're running the 3D Mark benchmarking tool with the time spy render. Now let's see how that's gonna perform, because this will give us a general idea how light gaming, will be on the CPU with the AIO. So as you can see, the temps for light gaming 52 around there, the games that are not CPU bound. And as we are moving around, you can see the temperature fluctuating, our utilization is fluctuating, but it's not going anything above and beyond where we would be concerned with this AIO. So the AIO is doing its job right. Now in this CPU test, it's gonna render a 3D image on a CPU. So if you can see, when it's rendering a 3D image on a CPU, your CPU is only hitting up to 80, but it's using 72 to 75% of your CPU. Now coming down to some real gaming review. So this is me playing the Indiana Jones game. As you can see, this game is really CPU bound and heavy. And I'm only hitting 68, which is 65, which is pretty normal. And this guy's in my way, so get out. But yeah, you get the idea, the CPU is only hitting 65, 68, that's fine. And utilization is at 44 and sometimes even 51 to 55. So it's keeping that CPU cool. Now jumping straight into Cyberpunk. As you can see, my Cyberpunk temperatures are higher. You know why? Because I haven't ran this game, and those of you who played this game before, this is like the first mission or whatever. So it's still rendering cache, shaders and all that stuff for me. So that's why the temperature is a little higher. But as soon as it renders the shaders, the temperatures come down to 65, 67, right around there. The highest I seen in this game with like rendering shaders was 75, so that's about it. But I know it's gonna sit just around 65 to 70 when playing this game. Now we're jumping into Fortnite. Yeah, one of my favorite games. I used to play it a lot, but I'm a bit rusty because I haven't played it in so long. But yeah, in this scenario, same thing. It's still rendering shaders. So as soon as I land, you'll see the temperature going in and out, but it's hovering right at 70, even after generating shaders or anything like that. But as soon as the shaders are done, you'll see the utilization comes down, and then it's gonna hover around 65 to 70. I'm just gonna have this gameplay run a little bit longer so you guys can get the idea of what I mean when I say it's rendering shaders. Alright guys, so my final take on this AIO is, this AIO is great. It's high performance AIO. It works fine. It works fine on my Ryzen 9950X, and it will work fine on Ryzen 9950X 3D. But the main thing that bugs me is that rotary dial. The main staple of this AIO is that rotary dial, and we cannot use that when we're using L Connect 3. Maybe Lian Li will come out with some fix later on, but as of right now, I couldn't figure it out. So that kind of bugs me. If Lian Li is listening, please Lian Li, if you can fix that, that would be great, because we want to have power over that rotary wheel, because we love spinning that thing left and right. And second thing, I've been seeing a lot of Reddit posts saying this AIO had issues with the PCB. Even Lian Li noticing their PCB have an issue with this AIO, which is pre-June units that were made. So post-June units that were made, they're fine, but I haven't encountered anything. Mine is pre-June, so we'll see how it goes, fingers crossed. But yeah, overall I love the AIO, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share and show your support on these videos that I make, because it takes me a lot of time and I'm a beginner with making these videos, and also a beginner to PC building, so I learn as I go, and I'm sorry if I do mess up somewhere. Please do correct me in the comments. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next video.